Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Friday. We made it, folks. We are on the eve of the NFC Wild Card playoff showdown between the Green Bay Packers and the hated Chicago Bears. Feels like this game should have been played 3 days ago. Feels like it's been forever since we had a game to care about watching the Green Bay Packers. And look, I know it all could come crashing down late Saturday night and we could be facing the long dark of the offseason. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So soak it up, enjoy it. Even this bit here in the next 24 hours where you're nauseous with nerves and you're fretting about the run defense and you're worried about holding up front with the offensive line. I get it, but pressure is a privilege, and we are privileged as Green Bay Packers fans to have another game, to get to watch Jordan Love operate again, to get to see Evan Williams come down and blow up the running game. Man, there's a lot of fan bases that would kill to be in our position. So don't ever take it for granted. I know I won't. And I hope you'll join us here tomorrow night on the YouTube channel here at Cheesehead TV, Corey and myself, with our watch party. It's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hey, if you're in the Chicago area, do not miss the Packers pep rally event at Will's Northwoods on Racine Avenue. That's going on tonight. There is plenty of Carry the G available at Will's. Make sure you go. Make sure you get some Carry the G. And hell, take a picture. Tag Cheesehead TV in it. Love to see you all drinking some Carry the G there with the Green Bay Packers on the eve of a big-time showdown. Big-time showdown. Feels like I don't need to belabor the point. We've talked about it all week. We've been talking about it essentially for 2 weeks, really. The Packers starters had essentially a bye week last Sunday. Been a while. Going to be a good time. I cannot wait. Of course, the one piece of news today, a little bit ago, about an hour ago, the Packers announced that Dontavian Wicks has been downgraded to out. He was not able to clear concussion protocol. He will not be playing in tomorrow night's game. And I saw a lot of people talking about, the Packers can't catch a break. Did anyone really think that Dontavian Wicks was going to play in this game? I didn't. He was a limited participant all week, dealing with the concussion protocol. We all just saw Jordan Love get nixed right before the previous game in Minnesota, or 2 weeks ago, against the Baltimore Ravens. So, I can't say I'm too surprised, and I wasn't really counting on a big dose of Dontavian Wicks. And who knows, maybe this means the coming out party for Matthew Golden happens in the playoffs. How perfect would that be? Of course, I'm not holding my breath in that regard. How y'all doing? Good to see everyone mixing it up in the comments section. Hello to everybody on all of the platforms. So good to see each and every one of you. Hope you're all doing well. Of course, Dennis is here. How are you, Dennis? Steve-O's here. Good to see you, Steve-O. You guys know, before I get going, I got to give a shout out to our friends over at ThedaCare. With ThedaCare Orthopedic Care, championship-level care is delivered to every fan and every athlete. Whether you're dealing with a nagging injury or recovering from surgery, the ThedaCare team is ready to help you heal smart and get back in the game. Because in Wisconsin, folks play hard and recover harder. ThedaCare, proud sponsor of Cheesehead TV. All right, folks, let's do it. What's on your mind? The doctor is in, so to speak. E4, what's up, man? College has a pretty good handle on targeting. What's up with the NFL? And the Bears should build their next stadium a mile east of Soldier Field. Like right in the lake. I see what you're doing. Have to vehemently disagree with your first point here. Did you watch the game last night? I mean, thankfully, the first targeting call wasn't upheld and the kid was allowed to keep playing. But that second one, which did cost the kid the rest of the game, was absolutely ridiculous. I understand we've all grown accustomed to, I guess, these last couple generations with the ability to slow things down and look at high-def replays of each and every pixel of every play. But, man, at some point, you got to allow people to play defense. Physics are a thing. What is he supposed to do? Just let him catch it and then fall on him? That is literally anathema to everything you're supposed to do as a defender. The whole job is to stop them. Yeah, I think college targeting is atrocious. If anything, they should absolutely junk it. But that's a completely different subject for a totally different time, probably the offseason. Um, I can't tell you how happy I am the NFL doesn't have anything close to the targeting rule. Now, yes, they have the defensive player stuff and the helmet to helmet stuff, but the targeting specifically as it is adjudicated in college is absolutely ridiculous. I hate that rule. AK Bunny, how you doing, man? Go Pack, go, baby. Time to drag the Bears to hell. Yes, sir. I think Justice has started that rallying cry. Drag them to hell, baby. It's where they belong. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go. Keith, how are you, sir? If Diggs starts, would Nixon move to the slot? Probably not. I think Diggs would start in place of Carrington Valentine. They've pretty obviously repeatedly been trying to bench Valentine, not Nixon. I think Bullard would probably spend time in the slot for sure, but if Diggs starts, I think it will be in the place of Carrington Valentine, not Keyshawn Nixon on the perimeter. And I do think possibly you might see a rotation there opposite Nixon on the perimeter, especially when it comes to early downs versus obvious passing situations. I think in, say, 3rd and 7+, that's Valentine on the outside, and then Diggs gets in there on 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, what have you, because he's shown even in one extremely limited action there in Minnesota, at least he's a willing tackler, something Valentine certainly has not demonstrated in his couple of years here in Green Bay. So, yeah. Now, all of that to say, could there be maybe a possibility where they have some kind of, personnel grouping where they do put, like, say, Valentine on one side, Diggs on the other, and they run Nixon in the slot? It's a possibility, especially with Rome Odunze coming back, somebody they have not faced this season. Maybe there is a call or two on Halfley's sheet where he says, okay, I want as many of my, quote, cover guys as possible on the field. I'm not completely discounting that possibility, but I certainly don't think that will be how they open up and how they run most of the game. That would surprise me. Soder, what's up, man? I'm a little chinged up for tomorrow. Well, I was chinged up. Yeah, I know. If you're old and a Packers obsessive, you know exactly what that's in reference to. Shout out Soder. Steve-O, how are you, man? Cheers, Nags. I'll be at Will's in my green Cheesehead TV hoodie and green knit Packers hat. Should I have a Carry the G now before my Carry the G's at Will's? Let me think about that. Yes.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
Steve-O, in all seriousness, all I need in life tonight is someone to give Ed Policy a Carry the G. That needs to happen. It's all I'm looking for right now. Keith, how are you, man? How can the Packers exploit slot cornerback Kyler Gordon? I don't know about exploiting. Certainly, the Packers seemingly have exploited anybody who they put in the slot. These couple of times they've faced the Bears this year with Dennis Allen as the coordinator. And I suspect, and this is what I talked about on transplants, given how the Packers have operated over the course of the 2 games they've played already, I'm going to be very surprised if Dennis Allen doesn't play a boatload of too high shell. Not necessarily 2-man or cover 2, but as his pre-snap look to not allow Jordan Love to be, oh, hey, look, single high safety. I got man across. They're trying to blitz, and I'm going to adjust my routes, and I'm going to beat whoever's in the slot. Because if it is Kyler Gordon, yeah, he'll do that. Good luck. Whether it's Christian Watson getting that call, maybe it's Matthew Golden because they're not expecting it, whether it's Jaden Reed in the slot, he's going to get to it, and he's going to have something for whatever they try to do when they bring numbers and have only a single high safety or even, God forbid, a cover 0 look. I think you're going to see a lot, and I mean a lot, of too high shell. And in that instance, that's to help guys like Kyler Gordon and any of their corners, because the Packers have shown through 2 games here, they can move the ball up and down the field if you're, willing to bring numbers and try to pressure Jordan Love because you can't get to the quarterback with 4. I think both of these teams are going to have to exhibit a lot of patience, especially in the first half. But if they do dare blitz Jordan Love, which, hey, let's be honest, Dennis Allen, that's kind of his MO. He can't be exclusively patient. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Jordan Love's going to be able to get them into some advantageous looks, regardless of who's in the slot. FMCH, what's up, man? I'm just here to say the Bears still suck. That is an excellent point, sir. I very much agree with you. In fact, wait a second. I think I feel a song coming on. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Abdul, it's been a while, and I'm glad that you're here to keep us grounded close to the earth. Hey, Aaron, how do you think the run D fares tomorrow? I'm, honestly very, totally transparent. It is the one area where I have some doubts. But a lot of it is, does Ben Johnson commit to running the ball? He didn't the first two times these teams played. And I can't imagine the whole nation watching that this is the game where he wants to button it up and try and run power at the Packers. Now, maybe he does. And if he does, yeah, that is going to be, let's not say problematic, but it is going to be a big time challenge for the Packers. I don't love the idea. But hey, if there's any teachable moment, it was that Ravens game, right? And certainly you got to think Jeff Hafley and crew have emphasized the things they need to coming off of that game. I do think one of the components for this game that I don't want to say it's a completely underrated narrative because, we talked about it yesterday, but I do think Evan Williams being back for this game is obviously a boon for the Packers in both stopping the run and the pass, but it's not like he's a cure-all, right? Everybody has to be involved, and that's also why I think you'll see Diggs out there on early downs because they do not want those perimeter runs where maybe the back gets to the second level to rupture into something big, right? But I do think, especially in the second half of Lambeau, is probably the best that this Bears offense has looked against the Packers this year. They were able to stay ahead of the sticks because they were able to run the ball on early downs. They got into lots of 2nd and 3s, 2nd and 2s. We talk about, the Packers didn't allow a run over 9 yards, which is great because you're limiting explosives in the run game. However, if those 9-yard runs come on first down, well, now you're in 2nd and 1. And you, as Ben Johnson, the play caller, you have everything at your disposal. So what seems to have occurred the first couple of times is Ben Johnson knew that's what the Packers would be thinking, and he thought, okay, we're going to surprise them by throwing it on early downs. That really didn't work very well at all. So I do think he comes out in this game and does actually try to run the ball. And I think, like I said, there's zero doubt the Packers will have worked on it for quite a bit of this past 2-week stretch here. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Jerry, what's up? We need to shut them up. Go Pack, go. I got to admit, man, it's kind of fun having Bears fans back in our lives in January. They've been largely absent for, a decade or so. So it's nice. It's nice. I like to see them emboldened because it makes it that much sweeter when the Packers, of all the teams, get to end their season. It's pretty nice. Jordan's, what's up? Still nervous about tomorrow, but trying to remind myself Dallas was a juggernaut in 2023, and we clapped them cheeks. Go Pack, go. I mean, that should just tell you. Anything can happen any given Sunday. And look, it ain't like there isn't recent history to draw from. The Packers are at least as good as the Bears, if not better, right? I mean, I think you watch those two games and anybody with any kind of ability to step back and try to look at it 30,000 feet without their green and gold glasses on or their Bears glasses on, you can see the Packers match up pretty well, and they certainly have a path to victory here. Brody, what's up? The cheesehead stays on, folks. Let's get that fat W. I mean, the fattest W, dude, the fattest. Dustin, how are you? Wicks, Kraft, and Melton out. Bring on Mr. Golden. Oh, come on. They're going to target Josh Wiley. I kid because that's the only thing I can do other than cry. Neil, what's up, man? Let's Can go. Love me some Carry the G. Me too. I also love some Carry the G. Matthew, how are you, sir? Always said we got to go 9-7-1 to bring the Super Bowl home. You did always say that, Matthew. You did always say that. David, how are you? I can't believe Justice didn't wear the mask for you. It's so funny you say that because we did talk about it. And because of the subject matter, and if there is to be any kind of, I guess, social clip or somebody points back to it, say historically or whatever, probably best to not have Justice in the mask as we're talking about, pretty important maneuvers when it comes to the Packers, the coaching, the ed policies, first big decision, etc. Not great to have one of your contributors talking in a mask. So I appreciated him leaving the mask off for that conversation. But you best believe he'll have it on tomorrow night, no doubt. E4, what's up? I'll get back to the targeting a couple weeks after we win the Super Bowl. Meantime, just beat the freaking Bears. There you go. There you go. Jeff, thank you, sir. I'd give my 10th toe for a pick six or a fumble for a TD. Man, any turnovers, right? I mean, it's crazy that the Bears have been so opportunistic and have essentially lived off turnovers all season long. The Packers can't generate them to save their lives. I mean, I think the leader on the Bears in interceptions has as many interceptions as the entire Packers team, which is depressing as hell. Now, it would help if the Packers caught the balls thrown right to them. The Tonight Show, starring Xavier McKinney. I mean, both games, Packers defensive backs had the ball in their hands and couldn't bring it in. They just do that. They'll probably win this game going away. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Oh, Jason, you're trying to open a can of worms here. Does Lambeau serve Carry the G? If not, why? I should probably make a separate video about this, but just very briefly here on the eve of a playoff game, let me just tell you this. It was very close. We literally had a shipment in the door, in the loading dock of Lambeau, before someone who shall remain nameless, and they've done a very good job of making sure that person remains nameless, shut it down. Someone in sales shut it down, which then led to Leinenkugel's coming out with Legacy Ale, which is available at Lambeau. So I'll leave it to you, fine viewers and listeners, to connect those dots. Yeah, we came close. We did all the right things. We went through the right channels. And then someone from sales was like, wait, we're not getting a cut. And then shut it down. And then miraculously, Leinenkugel's came out with Legacy Ale, which essentially was our label, but with Leinenkugel's on it. Because, of course, Leinenkugel's is part of a partnership with the Packers. Now, if you're being like completely detached and unemotional about it, which I can't really be, but if I was able to do it, yes, Miller Coors, Miller Lite has a gate at Lambeau, for God's sake. Of course, they want to make sure that they keep the local brews to a minimum. But to completely shut out two passionate fans who have their whole lives been fans of your team, like literally my earliest memory in my life is my grandpa taking me to Lambeau when I was 3. And then we started Cheesehead TV in 2007. And then we get to 2023, when Carry the G Cream Ale is about to be available in Lambeau Field. Can you imagine how excited Corey Banky and I were for that moment to occur? Only for some bean counter, some pencil pusher to go, I'm sorry, this is not with Miller Coors. And it's not like every beer in Lambeau is made by Miller Coors. And then, yeah, all of that I could almost accept. But then to have them out of nowhere come out with Legacy Ale, which again just copies Carry the G's label, and have that available in Lambeau a year later, it's insulting, is what it is. And that's why I always talk about there's a lot of great people inside 1265 Lombardi. And then there are some real douchebags. I leave it to you to figure out who is who. Traveling Panda, how are you? Do you think there will be any Malik packages to throw the Bears off? I doubt it. I know I love the idea. He's certainly been effective when he's been out there in relief. But, Matt's been asked about it a couple times now. I think Spoon is the most recent. And, Matt just point blank said it's hard to take Jordan Love off the field. And I know they've had a handful, I want to say 3 or 4 plays over the course of the last 2 years where they've had Malik and Jordan on the field at the same time. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't see something that drastic happening. But who knows? Like I said, they've had 2 weeks. The other component here is how healthy is Malik? I know Matt did say earlier this week that Malik would be Jordan's backup. But he also said Zach Tom was going to start, and now we're here with Zach Tom as questionable, and we'll see if he even goes. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. Don Vito, what's up? Go after C.J. Gardner-Johnson tomorrow night and don't stop. I think he's out, or at least he's questionable. I know he was on the injury report because of the concussion that he suffered against the Lions. I'm not entirely sure he's even going to play, man. And Don Vito again. Thanks, buddy. Also, losing John Eric is a bummer. It is, but I'm so happy for him. I've met him on occasions throughout kind of the course of the last 10 years or so. I talked to him most recently here in New York when the Packers were in town. I talked to him on the sideline before the game. He's a great dude. He's always been really nice to me. Obviously a really good talent evaluator, and he's been with the Packers for a long time now. So I'm just happy to see a guy get his shot, right? Go run your own program. Just don't take Jeff Hafley on your way out the door. That's all I ask. Joe, how are you, man? Bears number 2 in points off turnovers. Packers number 31. I sense if the Packers just get a draw there, they win. Patience, Jordan. Patience. 1,000,000,000%. And man, if the offense can do anything when they get their opportunities in the red zone, if the Packers might be able to create a turnover or two of their own on defense. If the Packers can just hold on to the ball when they have their opportunities on defense and give Jordan and the offense one more opportunity, the Packers could pull away, but they have to produce those turnovers. It's driving me nuts, man. Rob, what's up? They practiced in Lambeau this week. When was the last time that happened? A couple years ago. I want to say 2021, maybe 2022. They do it every once in a while. It's not this crazy, like once in a lifetime thing. They've done it with LaFleur, certainly, a handful of times already. And look, I get it. His guys talking about not really loving or trusting the Hinkle field turf, as it were. Lambeau's turf is taken care of, top notch all year round, etc. I'm not surprised, right? But yeah, it's not crazy. They've done, like I said, they've done it before, and they've done it under LaFleur. Jeezy baby, what's up? Don't think a team has won after the cheese grater hat. Let's fucking go. You are correct, sir. Your sleuthing is on point. Anyone who has worn the cheese grater hat has lost the following week. Food for thought. Jesse, how are you? Need some Carry the G koozies for when I'm out of the beer and I still need to rep. I hear you, brother. I hear we've got them on the way. We've got a whole slew of stuff coming this offseason as far as Carry the G merch. Appreciate you and look for it because it'll be coming up here soon. Travis, what's up, man? This is the game for Jordan Love to arrive in. I mean, kind of arrived in that Dallas game, but I hear you, brother. I hear you. It would be nice to watch him put the team on his back, though, and just slaughter the Bears. And of course, that's very easily said, a lot harder to do. But yeah, man, you do want to see your best players play their best. And I got to say, Matt LaFleur mentioned this, though he didn't mention any specific players. But, the idea of your best players playing their best in the biggest games, something we've talked about a lot in the course of the last 10 years. And that's because it hasn't happened with regularity. We've seen a lot of playoff games, a lot of losses in playoff games when the Packers' best players didn't play their best and haven't been at their best. So yeah, man, 1,000,000,000%. Jordan's not alone in that regard, but he certainly is the headliner, no doubt about it. Cheeto. I tried the Lonnie Kugel's Legacy Ale in Green Bay. It's ass. Carry the G, baby. See, the big shame is I like Kugel's and I like most of their beers, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. Although I'm not surprised that it tastes like ass, because if you're going to rip off somebody's hard work, of course it's going to taste like ass. David, what's up, man? Did you guys say carry the G before Aaron Rodgers, or did you get it from him? Always wondered. Either way, in Minneapolis, I haven't yet gotten to try it. We directly take it from Aaron Rodgers' utterance before a bye week years ago, though, as he himself admitted, he heard it from someone else and other people. But yeah, he's the one who made it public. I mean, he's the one who absolutely kind of put it into the public consciousness. We grabbed it. We loved it. And now, hey, we trademarked it. So now we own it. True story. Soder, what's up? Packers know they are better than Chicago, and Chicago knows the Packers are better. Go out and make the plays and wipe that smug off Ben Johnson's face. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The first 5 to 10 minutes of this game, I think, are going to be really jazzed and pumped up, right? Tons of energy. Packers have to keep their cool. I'm looking at you, Keyshawn Nixon. They have to be even keeled coming out of the gate, because the crowd, the team, the Bears, they're going to be jazzed. They're going to be jacked. They're going to be ready, right? And I think some of that probably is because, as you're saying, Soder, in the back of their minds, they know the Packers were the better team in most of those other 2 games they've already played, right? So, yeah, I think you got to survive the first initial onslaught, because it's coming. They will be jacked up, and I think Ben Johnson will call. Probably his openers will be very creative, as he likes to be. Packers just got to be patient. Jimmy, what's up, man? In the last meeting, here are the Packers drives: 46 yards, 70, 91, 62, 64, 53, no punts. Just give me that again with a healthy Love, Josh, and Watson. Dog, I'm right there with you. And of course, the key to all of that is then finishing those drives with touchdowns rather than field goals. But yes, 100%. DTV guy, what's up, man? Hi, Aaron. This is Vinny from Matt Ramage's show. You're awesome. Looking forward to meeting you someday. Who stands out for the Pack tomorrow? Thanks for the kind words. I really appreciate it, man. Who stands out for the Packers tomorrow? I know we've already heard a lot of folks chiming in about Jordan Love. I think this is a Josh Jacobs game. I think Josh is going to take this game over. We're going to see him early and often. And I do think Emmanuel Wilson will chip in, but I think this is a Josh Jacobs 100-yard plus, couple touchdowns domination. And that's not to say like that means they're automatically going to win. I do think regardless if the Packers win or lose, this is going to be a Josh Jacobs game. David, what's up? Carry the G jingle instead of bang the drum all day? Playoffs only? I bet it'd work. I would love that. I think we got a long way to go before we hear anything connected to Cheesehead TV played over the speakers of Lambeau Field, but I like where your head's at. All right, everybody, I got to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night on Watch Party. One more sleep, then we're going to take the Bears to hell. Let's go, folks. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.